Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of our podcast. In this session, we're diving into a topic that touches every adult at some point in their life: how to change a negative mindset. Whether you find yourself constantly critiquing your decisions, dwelling on past mistakes, or simply feeling overwhelmed by pessimism, this episode is for you. Today, we're blending insights from counseling, psychotherapy, and modern psychology to explore actionable strategies that can help you reframe your thoughts, improve your emotional well-being, and cultivate a more positive outlook. The weight of negative thinking. Negative thinking can feel like a heavy cloak that you wear every day. It influences how you perceive challenges, relationships, and even yourself. Adults often face a barrage of responsibilities, from work pressures to family dynamics, and sometimes the stressors can cause us to get caught in a loop of negative thought patterns. This isn't just a matter of attitude. Scientific research shows that our thought processes can actually shape our mental health, influencing conditions like anxiety and depression, as outlined in diagnostic tools such as the DSM-5. In this episode, we'll take you on a journey through the inner workings of the negative mindset, examine its roots in cognitive distortions, and provide practical strategies based on evidence-based practices. Our aim is to make this complex topic accessible and engaging, ensuring that by the end, you're armed with insights and tools to begin shifting your mindset toward a more positive and empowered state. Understanding the negative mindset. Before we can change a negative mindset, it's important to understand what it is. A negative mindset isn't just about feeling sad or pessimistic. It's a pattern of thought where the focus is predominantly on the downsides, failures, and potential threats in life. This kind of thinking can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy where the anticipation of negative outcomes makes them more likely to occur. Think about it like this: if you're constantly expecting the worst, you might unconsciously filter out positive experiences or opportunities. This is closely related to the concept of confirmation bias, where our brains seek out information that reaffirms our existing beliefs. When those beliefs are negative, we end up reinforcing them time and again. Another crucial aspect to consider is that our brains are wired to notice negative information more readily than positive information, a phenomenon sometimes referred to as the negativity bias. This evolutionary trait helped our ancestors survive dangerous situations, but in today's world, it can trap us in a cycle of pessimism that seems impossible to break. The psychology behind negative thinking. Let's delve a bit deeper into the psychological underpinnings of a negative mindset. At the heart of this issue are cognitive distortions, irrational thought patterns that reinforce negative thinking. Some common cognitive distortions include all-or-nothing thinking, viewing situations in extreme, black-and-white terms without acknowledging the spectrum of possibilities in between. Overgeneralization, making sweeping conclusions based on a single incident. For example, thinking, "I failed this project, therefore, I'm a failure at everything." Catastrophizing, expecting the worst-case scenario to occur, no matter how unlikely it might be. These distortions are not just abstract ideas, they are well-documented phenomena in clinical psychology. For instance, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a widely used therapeutic approach that specifically targets these maladaptive thought patterns. By identifying and challenging these distortions, CBT helps individuals reframe their thoughts in a more balanced and realistic manner. In clinical practice, tools such as the DSM-5 provide a framework for understanding and diagnosing conditions that are often associated with chronic negative thinking, such as depression and anxiety disorders. While the DSM-5 is primarily used as a diagnostic manual, its criteria underscore the importance of recognizing and addressing negative thought patterns as part of comprehensive mental health care. Counseling insights and the role of DSM-5. Many of you might wonder how clinical frameworks like the DSM-5 relate to everyday struggles with negativity. The DSM-5 provides criteria for various mental health conditions where negative thought patterns are a core feature. For instance, in major depressive disorder, persistent negative thinking and a pessimistic outlook are key symptoms. Understanding these criteria not only helps clinicians diagnose and treat disorders, but it also highlights how pervasive and impactful negative thinking can be. Counseling and psychotherapy have long recognized that our inner dialogue can have a profound impact on our external world. Therapists work with clients to identify negative patterns. Through techniques like journaling or guided self-reflection, individuals learn to pinpoint when and how negative thoughts arise. Challenge irrational beliefs. Techniques from CBT encourage individuals to question the validity of their negative thoughts. Are these thoughts based on facts, or are they distortions of reality? Replace negativity with constructive thoughts. By practicing cognitive restructuring, one can begin to adopt a more balanced and positive way of thinking. A key takeaway here is that changing your mindset is not about forcing yourself to think happy thoughts or ignore real challenges. It's about developing a more flexible, realistic, and compassionate internal dialogue. Practical strategies to shift your mindset. Now that we've unpacked the theory behind negative thinking, let's explore some practical strategies you can use to transform your mindset. These strategies are grounded in counseling techniques and psychological research, ensuring they're both effective and accessible. 1. Mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness practices encourage you to stay present and fully engage with the current moment. This can help interrupt the cycle of negative thought loops. When you become aware of a negative thought, instead of letting it spiral out of control, take a moment to acknowledge it without judgment and let it pass. Guided meditations, available on various apps and platforms, can be a great starting point for building a daily mindfulness practice. 2. Cognitive restructuring. This technique, central to CBT, involves identifying negative thoughts and challenging their accuracy. When you catch yourself thinking, "I always mess up," pause and ask, "Is that really true? What evidence do I have for this belief?" Often, you'll find that your negative self-assessment is an overgeneralization that doesn't hold up under scrutiny. 3. Gratitude journaling. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to counter negativity is by keeping a gratitude journal. Every day, jot down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be grand. Even small moments of joy or acts of kindness can shift your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. Over time, this practice can recalibrate your brain's focus, helping you notice more positive aspects of your life. 4. Engage in positive self-talk. Our inner dialogue often mirrors our deepest beliefs about ourselves. To change a negative mindset, practice replacing self-criticism with supportive, compassionate language. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," try affirming, "I'm doing my best, and I deserve kindness from myself." 5. Set realistic goals. Sometimes, negative thinking stems from feeling overwhelmed by unattainable goals. Break down larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Celebrate your achievements along the way, no matter how minor they may seem. This approach not only builds confidence but also creates a sense of accomplishment that can counteract persistent negativity. 6. Seek professional support. While self-help strategies are incredibly valuable, don't hesitate to seek professional guidance if your negative mindset is deeply entrenched or accompanied by symptoms of clinical depression or anxiety. Therapists can provide personalized strategies and support, helping you navigate through challenging times using evidence-based practices. 7. Learn and apply emotional regulation techniques. Emotional regulation involves recognizing your emotions, understanding their triggers, and developing strategies to manage them effectively. Techniques such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and even physical exercise can help regulate intense emotions and reduce the impact of negative thoughts on your overall mood. 8. Build a supportive community. Connecting with others who share similar experiences can be incredibly validating. Whether it's joining a support group or engaging in online communities, sharing your journey with others can provide new perspectives and practical tips for overcoming negativity. Sometimes, simply knowing that you're not alone in your struggles can be a powerful antidote to negative thinking. Real-life applications and reflections. Imagine waking up one day without that constant, nagging voice of doubt in your head, a voice that tells you you're not enough, that your efforts will always fall short. Changing a negative mindset isn't about erasing that voice entirely, it's about learning how to coexist with it, to challenge it, and ultimately, to let your more rational, compassionate self take the lead. Consider the example of Sarah, a 35-year-old professional who found herself trapped in a cycle of self-criticism after a series of setbacks at work. She began to feel that every mistake was evidence of her inadequacy. After seeking counseling, Sarah learned about cognitive distortions and started practicing mindfulness and gratitude journaling. Slowly, she began to notice that while negative thoughts still arose, they no longer dictated her entire day. Instead, she could acknowledge them, challenge their validity, and gradually replace them with more balanced thoughts. Today, Sarah isn't claiming to have achieved perfect positivity, but she has cultivated resilience, a quality that allows her to bounce back from challenges with greater ease. This kind of transformation is not instantaneous, and it's important to recognize that setbacks are part of the process. Changing your mindset is an ongoing journey that requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion. By integrating these strategies into your daily life, you gradually shift from a mindset that is reactive and negative to one that is proactive, balanced, and growth-oriented. Integrating counseling principles into daily life. Let's take a closer look at how some foundational counseling principles can help in this journey. Self-awareness. The first step toward change is becoming aware of your own thought patterns. Self-awareness allows you to catch negative thoughts early before they snowball into a full-blown negative mindset. Acceptance. Instead of fighting against your thoughts, accept them as they come. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, it means recognizing that negative thoughts are a part of the human experience and that you have the power to choose your response. Empowerment. Counseling encourages a sense of agency. You are not a passive victim of your thoughts. With the right tools and support, you can take charge of your mental landscape. Resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, and it's nurtured by a positive yet realistic mindset. By practicing the strategies we discussed, mindfulness, cognitive restructuring, and emotional regulation, you build resilience over time. In essence, these counseling principles are not just abstract ideas, they're practical tools that have helped countless individuals overcome negative thinking. They remind us that change is possible, even if it starts with small, incremental steps. Embrace the journey toward a positive mindset. As we wrap up today's episode, remember that changing a negative mindset is not about denying your emotions or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about learning to navigate life with a more balanced perspective, a perspective that acknowledges pain and disappointment but also celebrates joy, progress, and resilience. If you found this episode helpful, I encourage you to try out one or more of the strategies we discussed today. Perhaps start with a gratitude journal, or practice a brief mindfulness meditation. Notice how your thoughts shift over time. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, know that professional help is always available. Reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. Thank you for joining me on this journey toward transforming negative thinking. I hope that today's insights empower you to take small, meaningful steps toward a more positive, resilient life. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, leaving a comment, and sharing your experiences with us. Your engagement not only helps our community grow but also reminds you that every positive change begins with a single step. Remember, every moment is an opportunity for growth. Embrace your journey, challenge your negative thoughts, and step into a future filled with possibility. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep moving forward. This podcast episode was inspired by evidence-based practices in counseling and psychology, drawing on concepts discussed in the DSM-5 and modern therapeutic approaches such as cognitive behavioral therapy. Thank you for listening, and here's to a brighter, more positive tomorrow. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more insightful episodes, and share this podcast with friends or family members who might benefit from a shift in their mindset. Your support helps us reach more people who are on the journey to mental wellness. By understanding the mechanics of negative thinking and actively engaging with strategies to challenge it, you can transform not only your mindset but your entire life. Join us next time as we continue to explore topics that empower you to lead a healthier, happier life. Stay positive, stay engaged, and remember, you have the power to change your inner narrative. Thank you for tuning in, and until our next episode, keep challenging your inner critic, embrace self-compassion, and let your journey toward positivity continue to unfold.